right, here we are at the third match of finals day of the 10th Alliance Tournament. This match brings one of the teams favored to win, Pandemic Legion, going up against Test Alliance, a team that a lot of people didn't think would make it past the prelim stages. So what kind of setups did they bring here, Laz?
I'm actually really excited about this match. I mean, we got Vargers 4PL versus the Vindicator Kronos Proteus setup that we've seen a few times so far in the tournament. So, I mean, you're going to have a lot of DPS coming from both sides, close-range setups, and I think that really the difference is going to be here is the PL's Griffin's going to hopefully get some jams off early. Yeah,
having those really quick-locking Griffins to get the early jams so your own team doesn't have to deal with the ECM coming off of your opponents can be a really early game decision point, like a turning point in the match. It looks like PL took a page out of Hunter Loaded's book in fielding these Vargers. They've done really well so far in the tournament. Yep. I'm curious to see how they're going to do against this blaster setup the Test brought.
Well, we'll show you in a second.
Let's find out.
The match is starting. These Vindicator Kronos are going to get instant webs on some of these ships. The PL Vargers did come in at 10, whereas Test battleships came in at 0. So, I mean, you're going to see these Blaster Feroxes instantly going for what looks to be the Vindicator. It's not a Tech 2 ship. It doesn't have the Tech 2 resistances, so it's going to be a little bit weaker. It looks like they're going to try to hammer through this logistics reps as you see the reps being split between Incursus and Vindicator. That's a very bad choice because, I mean, that Incursus isn't going to be worth nearly as much as keeping that Vindicator alive.
It looks like Tessa's going to focus on one of those PL Vargers right off the bat, while PL is going to it looks like their main DPS is going on the Vindicator, but PL support has gone around and they've started grabbing some of the frigates around the outskirts. There's a lot of ECM that's hitting the Test team right now, and so far not a lot of damage being applied to the PL team. That Varger that their primary DPS is focused on isn't having any problem at all tanking.
Well, I mean, these Vargers are Tech 2 ships. They have resistance, the huge resistance from it being Tech 2, and they also have an ASB backup tank. I mean, you're getting dual reps from these shield tanked battleships. And, I mean, you have the Vindicator that is getting only, like, probably partial reps from the Inaros because he keeps trying to split reps to rep the frigates. So, I mean...
Well, that Varger's about to die now. He's almost out of shield. Meanwhile, a Vindicator from Test, he's in half armor, but it could go either way. I think whichever team loses their ship first is going to be in a really good position to sort of snowball in their direction.
I'm really surprised at how quickly this Varger's going down whenever they couldn't get Cadell down first.
It must have been some jams that were hitting that Kronos of Test.
Yeah, it had to have been a few good jams off that Kronos. I mean, you see him pulling a little bit as he's just slowly bleeding more and more structure, and he's finally going to go down here in probably the next 2 volleys.
Wow, so they're going to lose that Varger on PL, but almost at the same time, this Vindicator is going to go down for Test. So that's going to keep it pretty neck and neck at the beginning of the match here.
I mean, it looks like you're getting some reps. I mean, look at him pull back that shield, but he's got so much damage stacked up on structure. So if he gets knocked too far in the shield and he bleeds structure damage, it's going to
wow. That Vindicator
that is huge. That's a huge thing for this match. If Vindicator going down, they have 1 battleship left, neutron blasters, 9% web bonus. They're not going to have DPS finish off this Varger now.
No. Now it's all going to snowball in PL's direction. They needed that Vindicator to break the tanks of PL. Yeah. If they did break that PL Varger, I was feeling like Tess had a chance to really turn this around.
I was really worried about that Varger going down. I mean, maybe he was mid-reload or something. I mean, I'm not sure why he let himself get that far down.
But at this point...
Look at Rivey on the screen there. I mean...
Yeah,
he's giggling like a schoolgirl.
These are his boys. So now we got Test ships dropping left and right. Without the DPS of that Vindicator, they don't stand a chance of dropping any more PL stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this was wow. I was really close for a second. I mean,
that was tense.
I mean, look at Cog and the Varger. Look at the HP. He has maybe what 25-30% structure left.
That was close.
Then it all just started coming back. I mean, maybe they neutered out the Vindicator enough to get his blasters to turn off or something. But I mean, look, he's on fire. I mean, wow.
I'm gonna have to go look at that again after this match and really try to puzzle out what happened right there.
Very well played by
awesome.
Both PL and Test. I mean, it was really close. It was a DPS race of sorts.
I saw the life of my bracket once again flashing before my eyes. I picked PL to go all the way this time, and Tess gave him a really early scare right there at this match.
Yeah, this was definitely a lot closer than a lot of people expected, I'm sure.
So, Test Alliance now, there's jams on almost all of their ships. They're unable to break the wrapping of that Basilisk, and PL's just going to one at a time knock him down. Now they lost that Oneros.
Yep, so down to the Proteus, Brutix left for mainly DPS. I mean, there's Griffins are spreading jams across these Enyos, try to keep the DPS off them. That way they can keep putting those jams out.
Yeah, I think Test bought a pretty good setup, and I think their setup could have dealt with this PL team here today, but you know, it's just a couple little things in the early match. If they go one way or another, it could just snowball in either direction.
Yeah, I think maybe if they would have decided to drop the Proteus and maybe one of the Enyos or the carries and swap it to maybe a third Vindicator, they would have had a much better chance because those 3 Neutron Blaster setups could have just ripped through that Vargur.
Yeah, I really liked the all DPS, high damage blaster setups that have we've seen a lot here in the ATX. I think they've been really successful so far.
Well, that's what we all love to see anyways.
Yeah, I love ships blowing up really quick.
But no, I definitely think if maybe they brought three Vindicator / Kronos type ships, they would have had the DPS to break through the ASB and Scimitar reps. But I think they just really fell down on the DPS side of things, bringing the Proteus.
Man, it was close.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's on fire. I mean,
I had
smoke
already,
coming from his ship.
I had written him off for dead. I already decided that Vargur was going to die, and then his shield just kept creeping back up and creeping back up. He trolled the hell out of me right there.
Yep. We're coming down to just under 5 minutes left in the match. We have Brutix and 2 Enyos left for Test Alliance. And this was a really good match. I'm really impressed at how well Test did with their setup versus the Vargurs.
Yeah, man. Test they're a no-joke team. I mean, well, actually, they're an all-joke team, but they did better at EVE Online than I thought they would do here today.
Much better than Goons Form.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to lose 100-0 here, so it looks like they got completely slam-dunked, but at the beginning of the match, they had a real chance.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could have been just like a house of cards. They lose that PL lose that one Vargur there that's in structure, and then they don't have enough DPS to keep the reps off of that Vindicator.
Of the Vindicator,
yeah,
right?
So I mean,
it tanked decently for a while.
Definitely house of cards where it could have just gone the other way.
Yeah, and I am kind of surprised that Test couldn't even pop a Griffin or anything. I don't know what their assault frigates were doing that whole time.
Yep.
But an excellent showing by PL. They have great pilots. They have great repping, FCing.
Well, I mean, their
logistic pilots are great. Yeah, they're
probably one of the most experienced teams in the tournament.
Absolutely. They're my favorites to win, but it could go either way. So now they're just
came close today.
Yep, one last Brutix left, and PL's going to advance. The next match will be Darkside and Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy. We'll have to see in a second who PL's going to have to fight next. And then the winner of that match will go on to face the winner of the Unreloaded and the Godfathers.
Yep. So I believe so. So far, I'm still undefeated in my bracket.
Yeah, well, I think if there was a safe bet in any of today's matches, this was the safest bet.
Right.
I think the rest of them could go either way. But you can see, even though we called this one a safe bet, that Vargur came really close. And if that Vargur died at the beginning, it could have gone Test's way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 3 minutes left in the match. The Brutix is entering structure. The Scimitar is repping him for PL, or the Basilisk is repping them for PL. So, I mean... Yeah,
they're just goofing off now. But that'll do it. PL has beaten Test Alliance Please Ignore in the third match of the finals.
Very, very awesome match.
Yeah, that was fun. And now we'll turn you back to Soundwave in the studio.
And very Smugger Ivy.